Welcome to Pulse of Culture. I'm Karolina Szaplin, and we're joined here by Krzysztof Zalewski, one of Poland's most fearless musical voices. And he's here because he just won a coveted Polish musical award, a Fryderyk, for his album Zuava. Thank you so much for finding the time to talk to us.
Hi, it's good to be here. Hello.
So let's start with the title of your album, Zuava, which I guess could be translated as done and dusted. How do you understand this title?
Probably. I mean, it's a play on words, obviously. It's hard to translate now in English, but it's like done and dusted, as you said. But also, like the things that come out of my head, right? It means basically the same. So it means that I finished some era of my life.
And sorry to mention that, you've turned 40 and you cut your hair.
Yeah, and to accentuate it, I cut my hair. I'm pretty bald now, like, well, buzzed, but I was bald for the video.
So then this record is not just a departure from your look, but also slightly different musical style, because you're rapping, age 40. How do you feel about that?
Rapping, I'm pretending to rap, and it's only one song. And to be perfectly honest, if someone pays close attention to what I've been doing so far, there's always one semi-rap song on my records, so it's nothing new.
Miałem 13 lat, gdy zachorowała mama, mogłem zostać sierotą, więc polubiłem piwka. Szedłem do liceum, miałem 1,50 m, wyglądałem na lat 10 i marzyłem o pryszczach. 18, polubiła mnie dziewczyna, może mnie nie kochała, kochała mnie telewizja. 20, odeszła mama słaba dziewczyna, pojawił się tata i amfetamina. Gdy umarła w domu i wszyscy już poszli, położyłem się obok i zagrali dość. Potem nie pamiętam. Wiem, że była muzyka. Obudziłem się w 28 roku życia. Kariera.
The record, though, is more rock and rollish, I would say. We decided to come back to the roots. We've recorded it live, like people used to do in the 60s. Just came into the studio, you know, red light, and here we go.
So your album has really this raw feeling of almost a concert. Is that what you were aiming for?
Yeah, that's what I was aiming for, exactly. Because I think my superpower is live performances. I mean, I know a lot of much better musicians than myself, and probably better vocalists, but I really do play good shows. So if you're ever in Poland, come to my show and see for yourselves.
So, you know, as you mentioned it, where your fans from abroad, when are you going to tour next?
For my fans abroad, if there are any.
There are plenty.
Well, we plan to do a little excursion in the autumn. Probably we'll go to England, to Great Britain. We'll visit Ireland and England and maybe Germany. We've played in Holland and Netherlands like a few weeks ago. And maybe, who knows, maybe we will be lucky enough to go to the States and see what's cooking there.
Fantastic. And in Poland, you're really well known for męskie granie, the manly sound.
Manly sound, that sounds so cheesy, right?
Yeah, I love it. Are you going to do the manly sound this year?
Well, I'm going to perform at the festival. I have a special project with T-Love. Do you know T-Love?
We do know T-Love.
It's a famous, iconic Polish group, so we're going to do a collaboration with them. Every Friday is ours, and we're going to play our gigs at Męskie Granie, but I won't be the part of Męskie Granie Orchestra this year. Maybe next year, we'll see.
And what about, because you talked about the sound of your record, but what about the lyrics? What is the main message? You know, are you kind of turning 40? I don't know, why am I reminding you about that? But turning 40,
I've come to terms with it, so it's good.
Looking at your life, communicating with your son, maturing. What are the main themes here?
Well, I think the main theme, because I always try to, even though my records are pretty eclectic, I always try to find one thought that will be like dominant, right? So this time I thought to myself, what do I want to hear about? And instead of like inventing some alter egos and characters and telling stories, I thought to myself, well, my life had some interesting moments in it, right? So, and I thought to myself, I'm 40, I don't give a anymore. I mean, people can look at my life closely and, you know, I'm not that important. You can, you know, decide for yourself whether it's worthy of telling a story or not. So it's a very autobiographical record. I'm singing about my, you know, mom's illness and demise. I'm singing about my addictions and my fighting, you know, with it. So, and I think because this record is very honest, it rang a bell with people. I mean, it connects with people, even though it's not very commercial. It wasn't a great commercial success. Like big radios refused to play the songs because they were too rock and roll. But on some level, you can feel the honesty, the sincerity, the raw emotion that are on this record. So I think many people have connected with the album because of that.
And do you feel yourself calmer? Do you feel that through this record, there was some sort of a catharsis? You put your demons to sleep. Are you a better role model to your son now?
Well, I think recording this album was a part of this process. But it's not only like, of course, for me, writing songs always had some therapeutical sense to it, you know. But I've been also going to therapy. I've been meditating, you know. I'm lifting weights, I'm boxing. I do everything to stop my mind from like whirring like a tumble dryer or whatever the expression is.
It's the right expression. Are you also hoping that this record, which, you know, it was an amazing, you know, looking at YouTube, Spotify, it was an amazing hit with the fans. And now, for Poland, it's a solid success. Come on.
Yeah, it was pretty good considering, you know, it's not a pop record. Well, yeah, that's true.
And do you think that you being so raw and honest will help maybe some young musicians, maybe give them more, you know, a better role model? What does it mean to be a man in this, you know, going to therapy, looking after yourself, being honest? Is there some truth in that?
Well, I didn't think about that, but when you put it like that, well, I do hope so. That, you know, maybe me taming my demons publicly, maybe it will help somebody, hopefully. I mean, it's being said many times that we're in the middle of a manhood crisis, right? Like, young men nowadays, we don't quite know where our role is. We can't be looking at like Gary Cooper, the strong silent type. Whatever happened to Gary Cooper, the strong silent type, you know?
No, we want like men who are honest.
Like
that's what we want.
Toxic masculinity is out of the picture, all right. But I'm a pretty old school guy. I think that like men should take care of their family, their herd, whatever you want to call it. That's the main feature, main characteristic of a man. And I love the world being like diverse and whatnot, and you know, I don't want to sound like a bigot. I always plant the LGBT flag during my concerts, so I'm all for it. But you know, I like to be in touch with my feelings. I'm not ashamed to cry. But on the other hand, after we're done with this interview, I'm going boxing and I will get hit in the head. So that's pretty like manly thing to do, I suppose.
As manly as it gets. On the other hand, you know, we heard you in a duet with Sana, singing Polish, you know, canonic poetry, and that's a very different side to you, very lyrical. You know, how did you feel after recording Zuava to move into sung poetry?
Well, I would like to fancy myself a poet, only I'm not as good as Kazimierz Przerwa-Tetmajer, that's for sure. But, you know, I'm striving for, like, a good lyric now and then. So it wasn't like I'm rapping about and, you know, drinking and drugging, and suddenly I have to do some artsy-fartsy, poetry. No, it was fun. It's a great song, and Sana has a great knack for writing a very hooky melody. I mean, she uses the same chords as everybody, and somehow her melodies are earworms. So hats off to her for that. And the lyrics are great, so yeah, I had a lot of fun recording it.
Patrzy na tłum z głową podniesioną, laurów za złotą nie damy koronę. Choć życie nasze splunięcia nie warte. Eviva l'arte, eviva l'arte. I tak wykrzyknie, gdy wszystko nic warte. Eviva l'arte, eviva l'arte. Więc znaczyć cóż jest prócz sławy, co warte. Eviva l'arte, eviva l'arte. I chociaż życie nasze nic warte. Eviva l'arte, eviva l'arte.
And finally, there is a lot of buzz around your person because of Fryderyki. It's not your first time, but this year, does it mean something different to you? Do you feel more validated?
Well, I feel validated when people come to my shows. That's the validation I'm looking for. And that's the greatest award any artist can strive for, I think. That I have people to whom I can sing, and with whom I can sing. That's the greatest award. But of course, it's very nice to be appreciated by the music business, and especially for a record that's been, so honest and sometimes so hard to write.
Po co mi post, nerwowy sen, skoro nic nie zmienię? Dlatego jak Edith Piaf, niczego nie żałuję. Wiem, nie było to miłe. Wiem, przesadziłem. Lecz nie mogłem inaczej, to kosmos wyznaczył mi moją...
So finally, having put your demons to bed with Zuava, what next? And of course you're going to tour, but what after? Have you got an inkling what your next record could be about?
Well, I'm trying to write some new songs, and the main objective in my head is to maybe write some uplifting songs now for a change. But so far I did write very sad ballads, so, I think I've got to try harder maybe. Because it is hard. I mean, if you think about it, there's like Happy by Pharrell Williams. There's What I Say by Ray Charles, maybe Not Bush City Limits by Tina Turner. There aren't as many happy songs as there are sad ones. It's much easier to write a sad song.
So are you saying that you write your best stuff when you're suffering?
Well, it's easier. I mean, it's much easier. So, because I'm an ambitious type and I want to step out of my comfort zone now, the goal is to write as happy song as I can come up with.
Well, Krzysztof, we won't stop you from your boxing. I hope you will go into the ring, you'll suffer, and you'll come with good new stuff. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Dziwny czas, płonie cały świat, a ja ciebie w głowie mam, tylko ciebie w głowie mam. Radio